I'm gonna keep that insane. You just do you. You do you.
Hello, welcome to Stonks Are Us.
Is my microphone live?
Yeah, it's alive.
Is my microphone working?
Yes.
Hello. Baby, hold on. All right, we're holding on. I have to entertain you, everyone. I have to entertain everyone. My English is bad today because Casper has to do some stonks. And we're going to talk about a lot of cool things. There's been a lot happening today. In the tech world.
Yeah, man.
In the stonks world.
So many stonks.
Oh, and by the way, a lot of things are happening in Australia. Can you believe it? There's things happening in Australia.
It's like 2021 is the craziest start to the year. Just the events that have been unfolding are the craziest start of the year. Like,
you don't think that 2020 had like a weird start at all?
I think 2020 it was really bizarre. You know, we had the whole we had pandemic followed by the events which unfolded into the riots in the US.
Yeah.
Then the whole presidency war versus Biden and Trump. And then
It's the presidency.
the presidency
Versus Joe Biden.
versus Joe Biden. Yeah.
G'day,
And-
Pog. Welcome, mate.
Hey, Pog. And 2021 is like, I guess we had the shortage of all the consoles and all the PC parts. We had releases
Don't
of
forget about the toilet paper.
the toilet paper wars. Oh my God, 2020 was psycho, man. And 2021 now is like the stock market's going ballistic. It's not making any sense whatsoever.
I love it. It's just everything's turned upside down. There are record profits being made everywhere.
Yeah.
The stonks are high.
The stonks are high.
And then we've got Google search potentially being pulled out of Australia.
Yeah, that's insane.
What do you reckon of this ginger beer?
It's not bad.
Not bad?
Yeah, I like the picture. It has a fox on it.
Yeah, so we've got ginger beers today.
Yeah, fox.
I rode my electric board today from work to Casper's house. So we're not driving cars today.
Yes.
So, okay, what do we got today?
Okay,
What
right.
have we got today?
Okay, so let's bring up the scene. What do we got for you guys today? We got stonks, obviously. It's a funny one about an Aussie fund actually getting into the GameStop stonk action.
Oh, did
Well,
they?
I'll tell you, it's a
You're
funny
the
thing.
share master, right?
I'm the share master.
Share master. All right, what else?
Okay, so we got a bit more of that, but this is more of the financial review, the more of the official, I guess, information around what's happening in the US. We got Xbox Game Pass. It's growing.
18 million.
18 million, not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Let's keep going.
And we have shortages. Great, more shortages in 2021 as the chips. They're not being produced as fast as we like them to.
No, they're not. They're not, and that's a shame.
Yeah. No chips, no profits. Speaking of profits, next up we've got some more scalping going on. Lots of NVIDIA cards being sold on eBay and stonks.
Now, actually, I think Pog. I think you're the only one online, mate. Should we have streamed on here or continue streaming on the other channel? That's a question. I don't.
Yes.
I will give it a go.
Yeah, we'd like a vote. Pog is like other channel.
I think the question becomes like, at what point do you swap over to like a proper channel dedicated to just the podcast? So then people who just enjoy the podcast versus just like the other
that's
videos.
right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, at what point
yeah.
should people do that?
Well, I mean, some of the big channels like Linus, you see, he's done things like that when he's exceeded like 1 million subscribers. Then he started making other channels. That's my experience.
I guess he created dedicated. Thanks, Pog. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I guess it depends because does the content differ substantially, right? If the content differs substantially, like if we were talking about finance, which we are today, then it should be on another channel.
Yeah, I know. Welcome to the Wall Street. Yeah.
And so if it's very similar, then maybe not. Maybe if it's like a gaming channel and you've got gaming videos, then I suppose it makes sense to keep the podcast on there. I don't know. This is just a test. I'm learning. Everybody's learning. So maybe we'll be back to the normal channel next week.
I mean, that's the thing. You could grow it here, but that means we just kind of start from scratch in a way. But then with your channel, your Techman Pat channel, there's already a larger audience there, and it notifies them immediately when a stream is running.
That's
so
true.
Then you have more people jumping on board at that point in time.
Let me, what I'll do, I'll post the link on the community post. Oh, I want to talk about the community stuff that happened too. So can we add that to the list?
Yeah, what community stuff?
Okay, let's roll the intro.
Okay, intro, go. We're back.
All right, I'm going to have to do this. Casper, can you please start with the most important news of the day, and that is high stonks for our
All right, for all our stonk lovers.
stonk lovers.
All right, here we go. Guys, let's talk about GameStop on the market. So there was a top Aussie fund that sold GameStop before the market frenzy sent shares into the stratosphere. So what essentially happened is that about 3 weeks before the stonks went wild, there was a company, an Australian company, an Australian investment company. There we go, Paradise. So Paradise netted around 32 to 34 million US dollars at the time of the sale of the stock. Now, they would have sold it for 885 million US dollars if they had waited until the weeks, like I think 3 weeks later it was, until the peak of the price, which is insane. So essentially, they missed out on 750 million US dollars, $750 million.
Do you think these people are like jumping off buildings?
I think there's Sudokus happening left, right, and center.
Sorry, ma'am. I'm just gonna go play some Sudoku.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's insane.
It's just okay. First of all, to me, the amount of money flowing through that is incredible. Like that's just an insane amount of money. Period.
Billions upon billions upon billions.
But to somebody else, it's probably like, somebody lost like 10%, or like 1%, chump change. But I read today that, so I guess can you, because first of all, you're a much bigger expert in shares than I ever will be. Actually, I was going to buy some shares today. $300 worth.
Yeah, cha-ching. I think the minimum is 500.
Yeah, I realized that.
It's like, no stonks for you.
So can you run me through what happened? How did... Yeah, keep going. Sorry, I think I'm just jumping into it early.
So GameStop, as we know, specializes in brick and mortar stores over in the US. And funnily enough, they were changing up their environment a little bit by sticking to this really friendly stores. Come in, play some retro games.
Yep.
You know, we got couches. We have a really cool setting for you here. It's very comfortable. It's a safe place for all these gamers. Funnily enough, a few weeks after that, the pandemic hit.
Oh, damn.
So not only was GameStop like, okay, we got to save the company, but this disaster happens that prevents their one and only shot at actually growing. So essentially, their stock became a target for what's called short sellers. And short sellers are people who go into companies that are, you know, still like the fundamentals are okay, not great, but they're easy targets. Essentially, what they do is they manipulate the stock price. So they buy up a lot of stocks, they make it rise a little bit, and then they sell down significantly because other people jump on board as well, and they buy in or not.
Is that short selling, or is that the borrowing of shares?
It's It's essentially short selling because what they're doing is they're quickly withdrawing. They're basically controlling the stock up
'Cause-
and down, up and down, up and down.
So what I read was that what they're doing is they're betting on the fact that the price is going to go down, right? So if something is at $10 a share, they're betting that it's going to go down, but if it goes up, they lose money. So if, for example, so they borrow money from somebody who has already some shares,
Yeah.
they sell those shares, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is so. They share those shares. Sorry, they sell them at $10. They wait for the drop, and they rebuy them at $5, for example, and they've made
Right.
$5 profit
So
because they're expecting the whole thing to just fly down, but they're borrowing shares. They're not actually rebuying shares because rebuying makes the price go up.
yes.
And then so what happens is they then go, okay, I'm giving you the stock back. Here's your stock back. I've made my $5 plus paid these things called insurance fees that you pay. It's not
Yeah.
insurance per se, but it's just a fee that you pay. And the longer you hold on to the short sold stock, the more the fees go up. So what happened then is somebody figured out that they're doing this. And I think it was $600 million worth was short sold.
Right.
And Redditors got together and bought the stock, which raised the price.
Which
and-
went against the
Which
bet.
meant that for every dollar above the price that they borrowed the share at,
Yeah.
is a loss to them.
Yes.
Right now, it's clocked over $1 trillion. Sorry, $1 billion.
I was gonna say one
No,
trillion.
1 trillion.
That's
One-
like a,
yeah, $1
half
billion
of Apple's.
$1
wealth.
billion in losses.
So yeah, the key takeaways here: short selling occurs when an investor borrows a security and sells it on the open market, planning to buy it back later for less money. Short sellers bet on and profit from a drop in securities price. This can be contrasted with long investors who want the price to go up. Short selling has a high risk reward ratio. It can offer big profits, but losses can mount quickly and infinitely due to margin calls.
Yeah, margin calls is that insurance thing. So
Right.
it's like there's a fee. You can't hold on to it. Basically, if you hold on to it for too long, you will build up not only the losses, but you also build up the fees.
To close a short position, a trader buys the shares back on the market, hopefully at a price less than what they borrowed the asset, and returns them to the lender or broker. Traders must account for any interest charged by the broker or commissions charged on trades. Yeah, so essentially, shorters, they suck. So essentially, they suppress the price significantly for a long period of time.
It's a bet,
as
right?
well.
It's a bet to make sure
Yeah.
that they thought that GameStop was just gonna take a dive, and they were betting on that. Unfortunately, some wacky Redditors from Wall Street brats decided that they're not going to let them do that and bought up all the shares, making the price rise. And I think Can you just search how much GameStop is worth right now?
It's I think it's worth like a quarter of what it was. Yeah, it dropped significantly, 44%.
So if we go yeah. So,
So there
what
you
was
go.
it
So,
on?
so it went from like 40, 50 to like 350 all the way to 470
Yeah.
down to like 130 back to 270. It's out of whack, man. It
Yeah.
is so whack.
But even I mean, imagine that. Even if you bought at that date closer to after that jump, right?
Yeah.
You could have still almost doubled your investment. Like
Like
if you put
there,
in, no,
you would have
just
like-
not even 300 and went up to 400. That's like 100%, 50%. Yeah, 50%.
Yeah, what price are you buying it on?
Oh, like whatever the average of those zones are. So one back.
Yeah, this one?
Yeah, like say 345.
340. So okay, so you bought it a day before on a high at 340 and then even sold it. Yeah, you make a ton of money
Yeah,
still.
you'd still make a lot of money.
Well,
So
where you want to be is like at the beginning of the year.
I mean,
and then
who would have
cha-ching.
known? Who would have known that these guys were gonna troll so hard? Like the people. Okay, so the
Oh,
people with
yeah, I
money
know,
are now
right?
upset that people on the internet. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Can do these little
yeah,
attacks.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I guess
So-
yeah, I guess this is it's an anomaly. It's weird because the reality is that these guys are a fad.
Yeah.
They're gonna come and go. Investors and short sellers will exist till the end of time to continue to manipulate
Yeah,
and
yeah.
control the markets as they do. You can't squash them with a small event like this one, because the amount of capital that they have is obscene. Like, they can basically play the reverse if they wanted to and harm the people that are trying to do the harming.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think they were shocked. I think they
Nobody was a surprise
expecting,
attack.
Yeah.
It was like the Robin Hood ambush, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think nobody was expecting people of the internet. And I suppose it's a funny thing, but when's the last time Wall Street had? Do you know what I mean? Like, they control a lot of the crap there. The amount of obscene amounts of money that flows through it, and the amount of control that all these people have, and all of a sudden, people with zero to no control banded together to create a significant event that made it to the news, to the point where these brokerage companies were actually going, "Oh, we need to block this because this is like wrecking the stock market."
Yeah.
But they would never do that if it was some high up, messing with this. It's because people took control, and all of a sudden, companies are like, "Oh shit! Oh crap! Oh, well, actually, we're not actually in control. We could potentially, like, they got shake. Their grounding got shaken. I reckon it just
Yeah.
it feels almost like a revolution. Not quite, but it almost feels like there's something there, to the point where maybe one day we can actually make a significant difference and not just troll GameStop.
Yeah.
Because if I was an owner of GameStop right now, who would have had probably like hundreds of millions of shares by now, because I've been, GM or vice president of whatever, I would have just sold right there and then.
And they probably did. They saw it rising, and they were like, the fundamentals don't make any sense. This is rising for no reason at all. There's no announcements. I have insider info. There is none.
Yeah.
So you would sell. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah,
it was
obscene
just
amounts of money.
Yeah, it was just irregular activity.
Yeah.
So this stock probably in the next few days or weeks, when it loses some media attention, is going to go back down to like the $15, $10 or $5 or even worse.
So
like,
I think what the subreddit's talking about, hodl. So it's just hold the door. So is it something? Hodor. So hold the door.
Yeah, hold the door.
And so they're just saying hold on to the price. But there'll be people who lose their their nerve and just sell out because maybe they're putting a little bit too much out of all the excitement. There'll be people who pull out. But actually,
everyone's going to pull out. That's the scary thing. What happens is because of just the human psychology and because of greed, everyone's going to pull out because of the fear of missing out on a profit.
And now you should be short selling. This is the point where you should short sell it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, look, it's already like
halved.
Dropped almost. Yeah, it's gone from 350 to like 190. So it's gonna drop even lower and lower, like really quickly.
It's I guess from one side, I mean, this is probably the most exciting thing that's happened in a while. Like in something that hasn't actually like it. You know who lost money? People who had a whole ton of money. That 1 billion is covered by people who had a lot of money already, because they're the ones who are short selling. Like these weren't. It's not the poor that got poorer this time around. It's the rich who lost like a penny.
Well, yeah. You know what the sad thing is that it's the poor. The poor did get poorer, and the rich lost a little bit.
Yeah, well, I know what you mean by the poor.
Because, a lot of people would have bought at like this high rise.
Yeah.
They would be like, yeah, I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. And then it turned around. They're like, crap, I lost money.
Yeah, I think at some point, most of the people who put money in would have just gone, I'm doing this for the lols. I really don't care.
Yeah, most likely.
So, and that's not to say. So, first of all, Wall Street Brats is full of like rich kids with shitloads of money who don't know what to do with it. So there's a lot of people like that whole subreddit is just full of people talking about how I lost 200K today, or I made 700,000 today. Like it's really small amounts, but it's very bratty.
Absolutely.
In that sense. So yeah. Anyway, I was just thinking, should we move the stream onto the other channel? Because
like right now?
Yeah, just swap it over.
Oh yeah, we can do that if you want.
I reckon.
Stonks.
Can you go through the official stuff and I'll sort out the
The changearoos?
The
Okay,
changearoos.
you do. You
It'll
do
be
that.
it'll be almost seamless.
Okay, what are we talking about now?
The official response.
All right. Okay. Well. Yeah. So essentially, this article is just about the. It talks about how the Reddit guys got together, and it's not really a battle between good and evil more than anything else.
You reckon?
Yeah, I don't think it is a battle between good and evil. It's just a battle between, like you said, like brats with money, and
Because the
and
people
wealthy
who-
people
yeah.
who didn't expect the attack.
I think these. I think like a lot of comments. Like I saw like interviews with like specialists that talk about like the trades and the share market a lot.
Yeah.
And they were just like, this is unprecedented. No, in history, there's never been anything like this, and all this crap. And they were just like shocked to see
Yeah.
that this happened. And they're saying like, this will not affect anyone. You know, the losses incurred. Somebody's gonna get sued. It's like nobody's gonna get sued.
Nobody's
Like,
gonna get
nobody's
sued,
getting
no.
sued. Every one of the people who did the trolling is just gonna laugh all the way back to like the doll.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, nobody's gonna get sued. Nothing's really gonna happen. This will get forgotten. I think the thing is that this is not sustainable. So if these guys were really well organized,
Yeah.
they would have to, which they're obviously not.
There
there are
are
people on Reddit.
Hang on, but the fact that they did this, that was pretty organized to me.
Yeah, it was, but like you can't replicate this because what happened during this momentum is that a lot of people lost money. So the next time they try to replicate that stuff, they'll have half the people that will be able to engage
Oh, I
because
see what
the
you mean.
other half have already lost money.
Right.
So every time they try to replicate it, they're diluting themselves. So unless they're extremely well organized and they work
Slowly
perfectly
and
in
upward.
tandem,
Yeah.
then they can replicate something like this on an ongoing basis. But they obviously can't because there's millions of them. That's the problem. There's loads of them.
Yeah, and the look, this is another one.
Stonks.
Stonks. People love the
Yeah.
stonks meme.
Oh, I love
The
the
other thing
stonks
is
meme.
what does this actually mean for GameStop? Like, what will happen to GameStop? Because right now we're still in a pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And
so
we're still sort of
I think
stuck.
the bankruptcy is imminent for GameStop. I think because the pandemic is going to be going for quite some time, that this GameStop eventually is gonna call it quits. I think.
Like,
I
they're
think
just gonna fall.
it's staying afloat because of the new consoles coming in,
Yeah.
and you know they've got all these pre-orders for a Series X, Series S, the PlayStation 5, which is great. But even that, like, we have an article that's coming up in relation to the shortage of the chips as well.
Yeah.
You know, so there's going to be a huge shortage of consoles, and just people are not able to get out of their houses in the US, or I mean, they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because of how bad the pandemic is going. Hey, and speaking of which, have you recently seen how much it's spiked?
What has the pandemic?
The pandemic?
No. Can we talk about that on the other channel?
We can.
We can.
We can.
Um,
Stay tuned.
Hey Casey Locker, hey Pog. Sorry guys, we're gonna jump over to the other channel. Our little test of trying to run on this one didn't seem to work very well, so we're gonna jump over there for the rest of the show. We've got a lot to talk about, so it'll literally be a second. So if you click on the link, you can jump over, and we'll be over there in a second. I believe. Stonks. And we'll just finish off that thought. Talk
Yeah,
soon.
man.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.